I spoke about this, but I didn't tell you that in detail. Big hello for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, just smile to the subscribe button and click the like button. As you know, people that have been here for over a year are aware that I went to Ireland approximately a year ago. It was around this time that I went to Ireland. And as you know, I went to church, I went shopping, went walking, I went on a promenade, I did all sorts of things. Ireland was maybe one of the best trips I have witnessed and made in my life. But the trip back on New Year was one of the worst trips I have ever witnessed and went through in my life. This is the moment where I thought that my life was going to end. Between Friday the 27th of 2024 and January the 1st, 2025, I have gone to Ireland simply because of a surprise voyage that my mother had planned. So about 2 days prior to the trip, she was like, you know what, we're going to Ireland. Me absolutely hyped and enthused by the new announcement. I go ahead and shop for some snacks and prepare my bags for the surprise trip, as I didn't know the location we were going except the day just before departure. So we took the plane on the 27th and went on what is the simple past the fly? So we flew with Aer Lingus all the way to Dublin. In Dublin, we arrived there at about, I think, 10 or 11 p.m. Took a taxi to our hotel and stayed there. Found out about Marks and Spencer. Went to Tesco for the first time. Great experience. I went to Jervis SC as well. It was a very, very nice visit overall. But the day of return, in the midst of the night, between December 31st, 2024 and January 1st, 2025, I felt the anguish of meeting my demise. I was very saddened by the fact that time passed extremely quick when I was in Ireland. Before I knew it, it was time to leave and depart again to go back home. It wasn't a very big deal, me flying. What is the past participle of fly?
Oh my god.
As I was saying, I have flown with different flight companies like Ethiopian and Air France, so it wasn't really a big deal for me flying all the way back. But the pivotal point, the turning point, was that I have never witnessed or gone through turbulence. I know what the phenomenon of turbulence means and what it defines and what it can be like, but I've never experienced or gone through turbulence itself. So I had no idea how it goes into its work and how it functions. And there I was, I stepped into the aircraft and I had a bittersweet moment. I was in disbelief of me sitting in the aircraft again, going all the way back home, but I was also in disbelief that I witnessed the wonderfulness and craziness and just wondrous elements of this beautiful country called Ireland. It is a beautiful country with absolutely friendly and very accessible people. They are not rude, they are very respectable, elegant and very eloquent in what they do. They do have the best beef in Europe, I can confirm. Irish beef is way better than French beef.
Goodness gracious me, this is something else, man.
Itadakimasu. I went to parks. I remember I went to a very beautiful park where I was walking alone and vlogging and doing all sorts of things because it was so peaceful, and the park had no trees, and that's one of the first parks I've seen with barely any trees. It was like the park was so bald, it looked like it was deficient of consisting of any trees. It was just a path and sheer grass, just pure verdant field. I was very, very happy to be going to Penny's. Penny's is I think an affiliate of Primark, where I bought that legendary beanie which I lost, and I had to buy a new one in a Primark in Brussels. So that's another story for another day.
Sensational.
As I stepped into the aircraft, I searched for my seat, sat down and played some Animal Crossing while waiting on the aircraft to announce its departure and actually go into the skies. I think I was lightly crying or on the verge of letting down some tears rolling down from my face. And as the sun was setting into the beautiful yellow sparkling horizon, it was time for us to depart and go back home, as I had the school year to finish. So the aircraft announced its departure. I heard the conductor's, no, not
What?
the conductor, the pilot, man. You'd think so much about trains that you even think the driver of a plane is a so the pilot said, oh, we're going to arrive there at I think 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, around that time. And we rose up and took off into the sky, and it was time for me to sleep. No, I'm joking. I did actually make a lot of pictures while in the sky as I watched the Irish land just fade away into a void of pure blue waters. I remember it being a short flight of not more than 2 hours, so I thought that sleeping would really waste the experience of being in an aeroplane, because this is not an activity that I often engage with. Alas, notwithstanding that I wanted to experience flying again, I started drowsing off into a slumber. As the sleep persisted, I recall having dreamt something, but I am sorry to let you know that I cannot grant or transmit any of the dreams or dream that I had that night.
Shut your stupid.
Though what I do remember is some sort of quiver, some sort of shaking, some sort of trembling that I was witnessing in my sleep that I couldn't really see as my eyes were closed. As my sleep grew on to be lighter and lighter, the shaking and trembling and quivering intensified, till my eyes opened because of the sheer intensity of that quivering. And as I opened my eyes, I saw a pure spectacle of an exhibition. I could not believe my eyes. My body felt like it was rumbling in the air. My body felt like it was being thrown around the aeroplane while I was seated. I opened my eyes and almost started crying as I was dumbstruck by the spectacle and sight that I was seeing. Because it was dark, I tried to look outside, but I only saw lights of the city. But I saw the lights going up and down as well. So I thought, what on earth is happening? At first it was just some light shakes, but it started intensifying. I started looking at other people and they were calm like nothing even happened. That was until it became even more. So imagine someone shaking you by your shoulders, but horizontally. Make the vigor of that strength 100, no, 1,000 times stronger. That is how it felt like as we were shaking like a pack of Lays, because as well as the Lays bag as the aircraft, it both featured what? Air. As the vigor and the sheer intensity of the shaking intensified, and look if people actually started getting a reaction this time. And you know that mutual look that everyone has, that primal look, that primitive look that every human being on this earth has. When something is wrong, you will start to look for confirmation and affirmation from other people. That one look where you don't even speak a word, because I have not heard anyone speaking during that whole sequence of turbulence. No one said a word, because the sheer anguish and terror and horror that would flow through your veins is absolutely unmeasurable. People started looking at everyone with big eyes, starting looking about. I wanted to pray, because I thought that I would meet my demise that day on 2025 New Year. That would be the most crazy fiasco and debacle that could ever happen on New Year's Day. But I was in shock for the first time. I could not speak. My breathing was uncontrolled. I felt like I was hyperventilating. I could not believe that that was happening at that very moment. The cabin crew did not communicate that there was turbulence either prior to it or after to it or while the turbulence was happening.
The aircraft has arrived on stand and the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Please ensure you take all your personal belongings with you, including one of these secured in the bottom drawers. Then check the overhead lockers and the seat pockets in and underneath. Take care when opening the overhead lockers and take out fall out and all things as passengers.
You all need to know that I didn't understand a word of what they said during the whole flight, because what language are you speaking? But you're like, bro, turbulence is something common. Why were you so scared? Why was I so scared? We were not even a kilometer above the ground. So we were sitting here juggling with an aeroplane, not even I think 2 or 1 kilometers above the ground, while this thing is shaking with a wind that goes the opposite way. Do you know how scary that is? I was wondering what kind of maneuver they have to perform to land this entire vehicle. This continued for I think at least 10 minutes. No one said a word. That was the longest sequence of more than 200 people in an aircraft not saying a word. The feeling of everyone in that vehicle was so unanimous that I just knew everyone is either going to be in shock or remember this for the rest of their lives, because I still remember it like it was yesterday, because this was an entire year ago. But at last, as the landing gear touched down and made contact with the runway, it was a fierce hit onto the ground. That wasn't a landing. It was a fierce and bold hit onto the ground. It was a very sturdy hit, though the airplane did survive the landing, thankfully. But as the landing gear landed on the landing strip, I felt an immense and gargantuan moment of relief. I felt so grateful to God up above. I thanked the Lord 367 times probably for letting us land safely on the runway. As the plane taxied into the gate, I was dying to disembark from this plane and never set foot in another aircraft for at least a year, just because of this experience. As me and my family disembarked the plane and went through the hallway of the gate, I immediately sat down at the first piece of furniture my eyes could see. I sat down on a metal chair. I did not care whether it was cold, warm or broken. I had to sit down and think about what just happened and process it before I could process getting all this anguish off of my chest. And by the time I was home, I still was scared. Until 2 days later, I finally was like, you know what? You made it. It's a new year. Forget about it, which I didn't. But just know that you survived it and you're fine. And the pilots did a great job. So shout out to Aer Lingus. Shout out to you all who watched this video. I wanted to do a talking video, but I didn't know what kind of format, so I chose this one. This will take a very long time to edit. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the subscribe button, click the like button. Hope you had a wonderful day and a wonderful video, and I of course wish you one and a big bye.